What's up, guys? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with "Don't Be Fooled by American Media." Former R&AW chief reveals shocking truth. Before we jump into this reaction, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Let's see what we're working with.
The highlights channel of the R&AW show. This is TRS Clips.
The next book was The Ultimate Goal. It was about how narratives are built by states.
Okay.
And how they are countered. And what is it that goes into the making of those narratives. I'm trying to tell my own people that you may have all the power in the world, but unless you have a good story to tell about yourselves, it won't work.
Could you give an example to explain this thought more? This narratives are built.
Yeah, one narrative is a long-term narrative of superiority, let's say.
Sure. Like how we always portrayed as a land of snake charmers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And they are the powerful, the rich, they have values, democratic values, values of fair play, sporting people, yeah, generous people, and so on and so forth.
Sure.
We are the poor, mean fellows. So they made us poor, and then they laughed at us for being poor.
That's crazy.
And that is the long term, that you had no Sanskrit, you had nothing. You were actually Aryans who came down and gave you all this. You were nothing without us. And that story sold for a long time in India. The other is a short time thing for a particular purpose. Remember how the story about Saddam Hussein having WMDs and Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda was operating there. Therefore, we must go into that country and cure it and rid it of that.
The war on terror.
The war on terror to alag chala gaya. This became a war against Saddam Hussein for trying to make a nuclear bomb. Well, he wasn't. They knew it. But they manufactured intelligence. Then they manufactured a story. Then they spread it all over. And then they attacked.
Yeah.
That is the narrative they built, say, up to March 18, 2003. I think that's the year they attacked.
Before I let you move forward, why was this narrative built? What was the underlying intention?
The underlying intention was that Saddam Hussein was sitting on a lot of oil.
Okay.
And he had been under sanctions that he could sell oil for dollars up to a particular limit. Because he had done Kuwait and they had put him under sanctions. He did a clever thing, or tried to do a clever thing. He started to sell oil for euros. And he made a lot of money. The Americans realized that if this happens, then their hold on the oil will go away. So they had to find a narrative to get in there.
That's crazy, dog.
This from happening.
It's almost like all it makes you start to doubt like all the headlines and everything we've been told, like in the news media growing up, and everything that still gets told in the news. Like it makes you look at it through a different lens. It makes you start to doubt everything and wonder like what's true, what's not true, because of all these stories that are now out on media, like all these true narratives that are out. And it's like what we were told was, like he said, war on terror, war against Saddam Hussein, he's a terrorist, we have to take him out. What it really is like America just wanted the resources. You feel me? And America's like, if he continues to get more money, gains more power, then we won't be able to get those resources. And so they manufacture whatever they had to manufacture to go in there and take him out. And in doing so, and looking for Saddam Hussein, and looking for Osama, and different resources around the globe, they've killed many innocent civilians. They went and destroyed people's homes. They went and destroyed lands. And it's just like, man, it's absolutely insane to hear all of these stories actually come out when you sit down and get to listen to all these people tell it like it is. It's crazy.
The rest is history. Then they found that instead of Saddam Hussein, what they've got now is a stronger Iranian presence. The Shias had taken over because there's a substantial percentage of Iraqis who are Shias. In fact, majority are Shias. So they got nervous on that. Then they had to stop that. Then they went into Syria. And so it became a huge mess. And then the Russians moved into Syria. So that was a narrative which went wrong.
So basically, the goal is money in one form or the other.
Yeah.
If America can get richer by invading a country, they will do it.
Yeah.
They will tell their media portals and their general population that, listen, we're going in there because we're the superheroes. We're going in to save this country from its evil dictator.
Yes.
Yep.
Now
Yep.
that media narrative, because it's being released to the American audiences, it also finds its way to the rest of the world, because the rest of world media usually copies American media.
True.
So then the whole world starts believing that America's Batman or Superman, and they're going up and fighting against the Joker in these multiple.
The evil.
But it
Yeah.
may not truly be
This.
the case. Even if there's a smaller version of this which is true, it's not the complete truth that you're seeing
Yep.
in mainstream media. And you're the former R&AW chief who's saying this.
Yeah.
Do you think general Indian
crazy.
audiences should stop watching the news?
Well, I have.
Okay. So how should they get the information, sir? Maybe
It's a podcast.
podcasting. All right. No, but I'll let you
Through
continue
podcast.
this. So, what about Gaddafi? What about
Yeah, I never really got into the news. I guess when I was coming up as a kid, who I didn't ever want to watch the news, wanted to watch TV shows that I liked. As an adult, you got news in the palm of your hand now. You just go on any social media and there's news from many different sources, many different outlets. But I would say I do need to be informed about what's going on in the world. But yeah, I mean, you know, as an adult that the media is biased, that the news is biased. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't watch it. And then only really negativity sells, and I don't like that. I'm a very positive person who shies away from negativity. And so I stay away from the news. But this is cool. I feel like I'm learning a lot by watching his podcast, so shout out to him. And the guests that he has on this podcast and learning from them. I feel like they're very knowledgeable. They're very well spoken about the topics that they're going over. And so I feel like I do get to learn a lot just sitting here reacting.
no?
They were all part of the same system. Or Gaddafi gave up the nuclear option. Gaddafi was sitting on a lot of oil, and Gaddafi wanted to make himself the leader of the Arab Muslim world in Africa. That was a no-no. It can't be done. So he had to be got rid of,
Okay.
which they did.
Okay. There's a show on Netflix called How to Be a Dictator. I think it's called How to Be a
Oh,
Dictator.
wow. Really?
It's one of the most beautifully edited and written shows. And when I watched it, I was blown away by the quality of work. As a
Is this still
content
on
creator, as a
Netflix?
writer, as a media professional, I love that show. Showed it to my mom, showed it to some of my guests on the show, Abhijit Chawda included. And their first reaction was, listen, I think this is a lot of propaganda on this show, where they are portraying these same dictators that you and me are speaking about in a much more evil light than they actually are. That's also a part, very likely a part of the same long-term narrative that you're speaking of.
yeah.
To give you a very modern day example, when you follow someone on Instagram, someone of the opposite sex, and that person is posting very beautiful photos of themselves constantly, you begin to get slightly more attracted to them. It's just a matter of that same gorgeous face being thrown at you again and again.
Yeah.
It's the same reason someone becomes more desirable, in the general public's eye. So if you're fed a certain narrative constantly, that becomes your truth.
Yeah, it becomes.
Facts.
So all
Facts.
these dictators that we heard of over the last 20 years or so, there was an element of America going into those countries in order to make some money.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
All right.
why.
Now what do we do with this information that we have? Just know it.
Yeah. What is the idea is that if a large number of us can understand that this is the game, but if the large number of us say, "Ki farak panda, let's carry on with this game, we'll also make some money," then you're not going to succeed.
Okay?
So the conditioning of my mind is not enough. Your mind has to be conditioned to accept what is being done to me.
I didn't understand this.
You see, they are saying that Saddam Hussein is an evil dictator. He has to be crushed. But if I keep saying, no, you're wrong, he's not so bad, then it's only half the battle won.
Yeah.
So my mind has to be conditioned to believe that, yeah, he is really, really evil. So I get different stories planted on me. My mind gets conditioned. I accept that this is so. I join the game. Because then there is some temptation for me to make some money out of it too. Join the race.
Okay?
This is what America is finding difficult these days. Ukraine has been, people around the world have been fairly neutral about it, except for the Western lobbies.
Yeah.
As in no one knows who the
True.
hero or the villain is.
Yeah, and he's my hero, is
True.
your villain is my hero, that kind of thing is going on. And then now there is a rush on the dollar. Because of these sanctions, people have started trading differently. Rupee for oil. And this is growing. They're now talking about a BRICS currency. And today I read that the US Treasury, Secretary Treasury is saying that dollar is under pressure.
Oh
What
wow.
happens then? So this is a game of a superpower which has lost some of its superpower abilities.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like I said in other video, like every empire that we've ever known, every superpower, at some point or another falls, and someone else rises up to take their place. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't think the U.S. can just remain the superpower, the number one superpower in the world forever. At some point, it will fall, and somebody else will rise up to take their spot.
And it is finding it difficult to get out of it. Finding it difficult how to, I mean, if you keep saying that Ukraine must win, how will Ukraine win without soldiers, without ammunition, without arms? You can give it all that, but that's not enough.
Okay. What is the future of America in the 2030s, according to you? Would you go as far as predicting that?
America is still a very strong country. I mean, let's not underestimate its power. It has had these kinds of setbacks in the past, but it's a very, very strong country, and it has a lot of good things happening for it.
Okay.
And the technology that you get out of it, the education system that you get out of it, all these are values that are important for the world, and they are a strong nation. But I think they've gotten into a wrong track now. They'll have to reevaluate and learn to live with others, because
Yeah.
in 1974, way before you, they had a meeting on how to control the population so that you can feed them.
What?
Yeah.
What you mean?
How to
Huh?
Because
control the
you cannot have 8 billion people on the earth or 10 billion people on the earth and feed them. So population has to be restricted. How
Oh
do you
wow.
restrict population?
Vasectomies?
Something has to be done because you can't share. I can't share my wealth with everybody. It's mine. And if everybody else wants to be as rich as I am, then I have to become poorer,
Facts.
isn't it? So how do I control? By having fewer of the
Jesus.
others,
Reducing the population in other parts of the
or
world.
at least reducing the growth of population.
So, what was the outcome of that?
Oh yes, I think you should read a bit more of these journals and magazines that are coming out from the United States that talk about
What are they at?
That talk about this.
this phenomenon or this discussion that population has to be controlled.
But this happened
And
in.
you talk about artificial food. Can you imagine? Food,
How?
the tree is artificial,
This
and you
happened in
feed on it.
1974.
They started discussing it in 1974.
There would have been an outcome in these last 50 years.
Could have been, yes.
So, maybe all these wars.
Genetically modified food.
That's what I was gonna say. They is putting a lot of ish in the food now, and a lot of chemicals and all that type of stuff, dog. And like you said, genetically modified foods. There is a lot of that now. So, Jesus.
It
If you
causes.
can control oil, you can control the world. If you can control food, you can control the people.
So, you're saying in genetically modified foods, there could possibly be some elements that might cause things like cancer.
I wouldn't want to speculate, but I think the genetically modified food has been known to this, at least the Europeans used to say that it is harmful. How, in what way, I still don't know, but it does restrict genetically modified seeds, for instance, means that you cannot replant that seed goes away after one growth, one harvest. You have to buy a new seed. You have to buy new insecticides, everything else, and you have to have water. So the man who's supplying you genetically modified seeds is the controller,
Which is America.
which is America or American companies, Monsanto and others. So they are the ones who do all this.
Okay. So these conspiracy theories that we hear about the sugar lobby controlling marketing narratives and say the meat industry controlling narratives or things like this. All this could be very true.
Some paise ka khel.
That's crazy.
And all this actually does happen. All right.
It could be happening. I have no idea whether they are actually modifying all this.
Okay.
But there are obviously vested interests in controlling a market,
Okay.
whether it is meat or food or minerals.
So these are playlists made especially for you.
This stuff is wild, dog, bro. This is a crazy world we live in. In America, Jesus. I don't know what schemes and plots and everything that America got planned and what they've been planning, but Jesus, listen to these podcasts. It's insane to think how much we've been lied to. That's all we got. Y'all talk to me in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe, ring notification bell, get the video a thumbs up. It's your boy Neal. Out.